Roll up my sleeves here. Okay, we're all set to go. Today we're going to go over a spread called the Four Winds spread. And it's out of circulation. Or at least I haven't seen it anywhere. This spread is ancient from when I first started reading. And I have it in Genius of the Tarot, a guide to divination with the tarot. And it's in there. There it is right there. Samples of it is an example, a sample reading, the Four Winds spread. And it's kind of a neat spread because it just uses the Major Arcana. And I wanted to show you how this works. It's nice if you have a deck that's just used for this spread, because if you take out the minors of your deck and do a Four Winds, then you if you want to do another spread where you're using the whole deck, you got to shuffle the hell out of it. So it's nice to have a deck just where you're just using the Major Arcana for this spread. And I'm going to use the Marseille deck here. Anyway, it's a neat spread. It's out of, like I said, it's out of circulation. I haven't seen it anywhere. I called it the Four Winds in my book. I thought that was the name of it. It's been so long, I didn't know where I got it from, and I guess over time I just called it that. So by the time I wrote my book, I just convinced myself that was the name of the spread. But I did find it I found out where I got it, and it's in the Orange Box Tarot Marseille from Grimid. I'm sure that this is no longer what they have anymore, but they have this instruction booklet in here. One side's written in French, the other side's written in English, and in here is where the spread is. And they call it something else. What do they call this thing? Let me see here. Okay, they call it Draw in a Cross. And it's right there. So no wonder I couldn't find this thing anywhere. I haven't looked at this in a long... I don't read this instruction manual anymore, so... But I do collect. I have a bunch of these decks. By the way, if you get the Tarot Marseille, if you find this on eBay or somewhere like that, you'll find it comes in a couple different thicknesses. Show you the difference of the thickness. There's a standard Rider deck, and here's the Tarot Marseille. And if you go with an earlier version, you can see it's thicker. And if you go with an earlier version, it's even thicker than this one. Usually this thick one, this thick, is in a green box, like this. If you see them in a green box anywhere, they're a thick deck of cards. But if you get the orange box like this, somewhere, it's still thicker than a standard deck of tarot cards. I just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, back to the Four Winds. So you just use the Major Arcana with this spread. And I'm going to use a deck that I made myself, Tarot Marseille, to show this. Only because it's these are a little bit bigger. I made this deck. This is just the 22 majors. I was in the graphic arts industry for many years, and that's what I did. I reproduced artwork and photography for a living, and back then we had elaborate scanners. Here's a picture of me operating one of those monstrosities, and all those knobs had to be adjusted by someone like me. Now they just, if you could read the word scan on a computer or on a scanner and press the button, the computer analyzes all that color for you. It's very easy. So fortunately I knew how to read tarot cards, because that's what I do for a living now. Anyway, I did that for a long time, and I reproduced this deck. I reproduced the majors, made them a little bit bigger than a normal deck, because I wanted to, I just wanted them that way. And I just made them for myself. I didn't sell them or nothing like that. This was just for me. You can see this is a lot bigger than this. And I didn't want the titles. On this deck, I inked out the titles. I don't like to use them anyway, so I just ink them out with a paint pen. So I have them trimmed off on this, and it's just the images. So we're going to use this, and so it's four positions on this spread, and then there's a final position to a fifth position, and I have it laid out where it's north, south, east, and west, called the east and west, I should say, called the four winds. There they have it a different name. For some reason, this is what I ended up calling it. But that stands for the four positions stand for the four functions of consciousness in regards to your question. Your thinking, swords, if you want to use the Minor Arcana suits, you can, in thinking this way, thinking, the swords, your feelings, cups, your spirit, wands, and your material physical world, the pentacles. So thought, feelings, spirit, and material world. They could be in any order you want, but four cards are laid out into those positions. Magician, World card, Hierophant, and the Fool. And what we do is we add up the numbers. Well, first we would interpret all of these cards. So my thinking here, I have the Magician card. My thinking toward my question, trying to accomplish some particular goal. I need to come up with something unique, something that hasn't been thought of before, something that hasn't been seen before. So unique, if I could think of some new ideas here in some unusual way, or a way that not conventional, something that's hasn't been seen before, it'd be good for me to look into that. My feelings here, I got the World card, peace and harmony with the World card. Having a good attitude toward this, focusing on the bright side of what I'm trying to do. If I don't like what I'm doing, don't do it. It has to be in my heart, otherwise it won't work. That's what I'm seeing with the World card. My spirit, I got the Hierophant, guidance. Here we can look at it and say, well, if I follow my true yearning for this situation, really follow my passion for it, I think I'll be guided along in good ways. So I just need to find my guidance by following my own spirit and my own passions with this, and I should be okay. But if it's, again, if it's the same as the feelings, if it's not in my soul, if it's not in my passion to move forward with this, I should look into something different, a different direction, or a different approach to my question. And here, the physical world, I have the Fool. The physical world means that with the Fool, I could sit there and say, I could rearrange the furniture here and a lot of things. Or maybe I should look into that. Changing things around, going in new directions in my material physical world, in my place in society, would be a good idea here. These are just ideas toward my question. Now, in order to find the fifth card, and the fifth card is used just to enhance or come up with some extra little added insight to this situation. What we do is we add up the numerical values of these cards here, and we keep combining them until we have a number of 21 or lower. And that number is one of the major arcana that we would select that goes in the center. So we have the Magician number 1, we have the World card number 21, we have the 5 for the Hierophant, and we have 0 here for the Fool. Write that down again. 21, 5, and 0 is 27. So 27 is the number we end up with because the Fool is 0. So 27, well, obviously there's not a major arcana number 27. So we have to E equals MC2. Major calculations here. No, we just keep on combining this number 27 we take those two digits and we combine them together to come up with 9. 2 and 7 is 9. So if this number that we add up these cards with is higher than 21, let's say you have 56, you would add a 5 and a 6, you'd have an 11 then. 5 and 6 equals 11. And that would be the hangman. Oh no, that would be justice. So here, with this we have a 9. 9's the Hermit, and the Hermit is the card that we would look into for new ideas about our goal here. And here we could say, well, don't depend on other people's suggestions. They'll scatter you in different directions. Focus on your own ideas. Find your answers within yourself. People can draw you in different directions with their suggestions. If I were doing it, I would do this. Don't do this, don't do that, do this instead. So here I see the Hermit as being, find your own direction, your own light. And that's how you do that. These are ideas, and that's how the spread works. We'll do another example. Matter of fact, I'm going to do one now with one with numbers on them. This might be a little confusing here without the numbers. So we'll cut that. Okay. 22 Major Arcana, shuffle them, and lay them down. Justice. High Priestess. Judgment. And Strength. So we'll go, my thinking, Justice, will say that it's a good idea to keep truth in mind. Don't be deceived by false, or don't try to fool yourself with illusion here. Keep to the facts about your issue you're trying to accomplish. That would be important, or be a good idea. It's easy to get distracted with what you want to believe, convincing yourself something that maybe isn't very realistic. Stick with the facts. Try to keep focused on what is clear, what is real with this issue. My feelings on this issue. I have the High Priestess. Look into what really what your dreams are about here. You know, what really moves you with this, and what insights you get from that. It might be good to, if you have dreams about something you're trying to do, or if you just daydream, keep that in mind as having something of value here with the High Priestess. Judgment, what's in my soul, my spirit about this? I can make evaluations on this situation by really looking into, is this something that really moves me? If I really feel it's right, then I should go with it. And Strength card from my material physical world. Take what's real in your life that's you have a strong position with, something that nobody can take away from you, and focus on those as being an asset to your situation. So here we have 8, 2, that's 10. Here we have 20, that's 30, and 11. So we have 41. 41, there's not a Major Arcana of 41, so we take 4 and 1, and we come up with the Hierophant. That's a 5. So the Hierophant is number 5. And this goes in the center. And here we see guidance. We could look at it, say spiritual guidance if you want, but I look at the Hierophant just as straight guidance. Might be good to look up some outside sources here. Talk to some people who can give you some suggestions, but be careful. If we look at the past reading with the Hermit, we thought the Hermit would be good. Here we have the opposite of that. Here the Hermit was looking at it as looking within yourself, don't get scattered in different directions. Here we have the different approach. Ask around, see what people think of this. What do they think? Get some guidance from maybe some professional guidance, or some guidance from people that know a little bit about this. If this is something you're inexperienced with, outside sources would be good for you. So that's the four winds. I don't see this spread anywhere anymore. So I don't know where, if you're going to find it. That's why I thought I'd put it out here. That's why I put it in Genius of the Tarot. And I thought it had a little value. As far as using it all the time, again, if you're going to use that with other spreads, you might want to have a deck where you're just using the Major Arcanas and set those off to the side for that particular spread only. One other thing I forgot to mention, I thought I better mention quickly. If you add these up to get a fifth card, and the number you end up getting is already in play, then what do? And here's what you do with that. Let's say we have Justice here, and this is number 8. And so let's say we add up all the numbers, and it comes out to 8. And we say, oh, geez, well, we already have 8 in there. Well, that won't work. So now what we have to do is we add up the numbers again, only eliminating this card. We eliminate the number that is already in play. We would just add up these 3 to come up with another card. And then we would end up with our final card. So if the number you end up with is already in play, eliminate that card from the adding up situation again. Just add up the new cards, the other 3, and whatever number you end up with, that is the card you would put in the center. Thought I'd throw that in there, because that will happen. So, the 4 winds. And I hope you like this. Keep throwing cards.